your old buddy Outlaw Dave, broadcasting live from the Concert Pub North for Jackyl Night on a Wednesday, Hump Day, Mittwoch, Miracules, Woden's Day. In Japanese, they say it. Sitting here with Craig Lavati from the Houston Chronicle and Newsfix, the Tribune broadcasting revolution in news journalism.
Indeed, Dave.
Talk about some of the stories that he's been covering over the past week. Also, Lone Star Rally Mark is here with us. And a good mutual friend of ours, Jesse James Dupree.
Good to be back, my brother.
Oh, man. It is so good to see you.
Yeah, good to be here. We got everything packed in for a little rock and roll show tonight. If you don't know where the Concert Pub North is, you just roll your window down and follow the thump.
Right.
That's exactly what's going to be happening.
1960, just west of Kirkendall. Plenty of time to get on out here. You're kind of doing a barnstorm tour of Dixie, I guess.
Well, we've been down here in Texas. We start jumping up, like tomorrow we're in Kansas, then Missouri, then Illinois, then Michigan. So we finish like over the next 4 days.
Getting colder.
Getting colder. Yeah. And then we're just all up in that area around Indianapolis and then Cincinnati and that kind of thing. But we finish up doing a really cool thing on the Sunday, December the 7th, with the Toys for Tots in Chicago.
Oh.
There'll be like several thousand bikes, and we'll be freezing our ass off. And we're going to do about a 15-mile ride, raising some Toys for Tots charity awareness and some monies and such. And then Jackyl's going to do a big free after the ride show and stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's something we try to do every year is tie in with those guys and support them up there. And that's actually that'll put the cherry on top of 2014 for us touring. We've worked our ass off. There's about 135, 140 shows that we've done this year.
Well, and the Toys for Tots with the United States Marine Corps is one of the oldest Christmas charities in this country, and you've thrown in with a great group of people.
Yeah, we worked 135 shows plus or so. No Lone Star Rally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Lone Star Rally. We weren't at the Lone Star.
You know what?
We were everywhere else.
Trying to change that.
We weren't at the Lone Star, though.
We're trying to change that. Michael comes down every year, and we had a good talk about you this year, Jesse, just for the fact of how hard-working you are and how you guys play everywhere. And he's a big fan favorite. We were just talking about at the Full Throttle Saloon. He's involved in everything.
Right, his son played out there and just killed it. A couple of years ago.
You're the entertainment director of the Full Throttle Saloon.
That among other titles, yeah.
But he's involved in everything. He's the bike roadie. He's got it all going on.
People ask me what I do, whether it's with the Jesse James Bourbon or whether it's with the TV show or whether it's with the band or regardless of all the titles, I'm just a manager of expectations. That's it. That's what it says on my card. Manager of expectations.
A dream bringer, if you will.
Dream bringer, yeah.
Well, now let's talk about your full grain beer and the Outlaw spirits. Now you're doing the moonshine and the whiskey.
The Jesse James America's Outlaw beer actually is what started the whole thing, because we started doing it as a whole wheat non-filtered beer. We were doing it out of St. Joe, Missouri, where the original Jesse James was from.
Right.
And but we were only able to do about 600 cases at a pop when we brew it up there. But it does so great that the distributor was asking, what are you going to do next? I said, well, I think I'll get into some liquor, the spirits business. And so I ended up partnering up with a guy that's sitting on like about $5 million worth of Kentucky bourbon. And so we started bottling it up, Jesse James America's Outlaw Beer. It's a 10-year-old bourbon that we blend with a 3-year-old. So it doesn't have the wints that, say, Jack Daniels has on the backside. It's not as sweet as, say, Crown Royal, and about half the price. And for me, it was a big thing to keep it under $20. But it's great. And then we got the Full Throttle Saloon Moonshine that's out in. I just went by Specs today.
Yeah.
And I went by Specs and signed up a couple of cases over there. The one down on Spring Street.
Right.
And here in Houston, downtown Houston, and signed a couple of cases and left them over there for them. Just went by and told them thanks for bringing in the products and stuff. But the Full Throttle Saloon Moonshine, it's badass too. We just bought this little town. Michael, tell you about that?
Oh yeah,
you got to come see it, man. You got to.
I'm going to come see it.
It is. I mean, it's like Mayberry come to life, But
he's taking this. Is it Trumble,
Tennessee? Yeah.
And they are just revitalizing this entire city.
The town was on the verge of going bankrupt.
Right.
They were going to have to file to be unincorporated, and then with the Full Throttle Saloon Shine Distillery, little barbecue restaurant we put in there, the little general store tasting room we got a little motel on the outskirts of town. We're getting that thing ready to go, and then I've got ground just adjacent to where the Full Throttle Distillery is in the old cotton gin. I'm going to be building. That's where I'm putting the Jesse James Distillery.
Right on.
But I can see the vision. I need to go down there and buy 4 or 5 acres right there close to town and just get ready for the fun.
Come on, start making
coming to Trimble.
Start making some kind of liquor and come on. Yeah.
We're going to do an RV park.
I stood up with Michael and I had to go testify in front of the Tennessee State Senate recently about this law that Jack Daniels, kind of bogus through the
Trying to shut you guys
legislature.
down.
And so we had to go speak in front of the Tennessee State Senate, and I got up in front of Jack Daniels, Brown Foreman camp, everybody. I told them, I said, when we get through with Trimble, Tennessee, we're going to make Jack Daniels and Lynchburg fall to their knees and beg for forgiveness. But
I bet that went over well.
But you know what? I mean, I grew up such a Jack Daniels fan. You know, I did. I mean, I used to wear Jack Daniels T-shirts, and I mean, if somebody said something about my Skinner shirt or my Jack Daniels shirt, I'd be ready to fist fight them. You know, and but that company's not. I mean, it's not like Jack Daniels owns it himself anymore. It's a big ugly company that owns it. You know, and they're very aggressive. They play kind of dirty, to be honest with you, on some of the stuff they do on the background. They just filed a lawsuit against Popcorn Sutton because they didn't like the bottle that he had. They ran just different stuff.
But you know
like
what
that,
to say, Jesse, about that? You got them quaking a little bit, and that's a good thing. It's a big company. To have
that's
quaking.
A big compliment,
that's
but I doubt we've got them quaking. You know, we're just little guys that are trying to.
You get out and hustle. You get out and work. It's a blue collar, hard working guy.
That, but they a little. All of it's not enough. I think they do like 22 million cases a year or something. It's crazy, you know, and they want it all. But we're making some great whiskey. And it's not just us. Even if you don't care for what we do, there's a lot of great craft distilleries out there these days that are making some really, really good whiskeys, and it's great to see that whole industry booming. And you and I lived through this back in the early '90s in a whole different way, because you remember when the major labels, you know, in the early 90s, they were screaming because the indie labels came in and nobody wanted to be on a major label. All the bands wanted to be on a great indie label because it was about the music and such. And they were taking 30 and 40% of a chunk out of the big boy's ass, and they were screaming to the distributors, you know, why are you paying attention to them? You know, we're your big guys. But and so it's kind of parallel. I feel like I've already lived this life before.
So you know the outcome.
Yeah, I know the outcome. That's right. We're gonna put some liquor out, and everybody's gonna drink it and have a good time. And
speaking of putting things out, season 6 of Full Throttle Saloon just started on Reels.
Well, actually they've been running all the past episodes and such. We got the last season. We got it in the can. We've been working on the edit. There's been a lot of changes and stuff going on over at the Turner Network and such. So we're still looking for an air date and where everything's going to land.
So new episodes are not airing yet?
The new ones are not airing just yet. We got a great season in the can, though. We shot some crazy stuff out there this year. Especially, I can't wait for you to see what happens during the Jackyl show.
I've seen him in action, man, and I tell you what, he's got it going on.
Well,
he's the show.
Well, this guy over the years, I mean, our relationship here in Houston goes back.
Started out the same time, basically.
To the Outlaw Mass Ball down on Richmond Avenue, where anytime the police shut down the party, it's because Jackyl was on stage. We eventually had to move off Richmond and go over to the 610 Arena. I think it was you guys and Blackberry Smoke. And still the police showed up. Because when Jackyl plays rock and roll, you can see it, you can hear it, and you can feel it.
Yeah, you definitely feel it. But you know, it's a good say. There's a difference. Loud is relative to offensive. And if it's not offensive, then it's not loud. I mean, if something sounds great, you'll turn it up because it sounds great.
Right.
You know?
That's right.
It's just when it gets offensive. We got one of the best soundmans in the industry. I mean, he's been with us since the beginning, and his name's Don, and he just kills it. So we're lucky to have somebody behind the board that always makes sure it's thumping and feels good. And then of course the three guys standing around me, you know, just we've been together for 20 plus years now. And I don't know how it is, but the three of them just keep getting better looking. And I guess three out of four ain't bad. But we attack every single show like Madison Square Gardens.
Well, and I remember Rock the Bayou on the old Astroworld grounds that we did. It was like a 3 or 4 day festival, and you guys, I feel like I hung out with the band for almost the entire weekend. Alice Cooper was there, Yngwie Malmsteen, Brett Michaels, so many other people. But Jackyl came from the first night on to the end, and just.
We were just discussing what our favorite Jackyl song was outside, Dave, and I was saying I love "Down on Me." I mean, that's
I mean,
it's a classic.
Well, thank you. We've been having a great run with this. You know, the new album's called Best in Show, and largely part of the television exposure of songs off that album, like a song we have called Encore. You know, she make the room go boom, 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 make the room go boom. But we got that song's really taken off, as well as a song called Screwdriver, and then another one called Favorite Sense. We'll play some songs off the new album. And
Good.
It's a very evened out set. I think you'll enjoy it.
Fortunate that my kids get to hear some of the stuff that I grew up on, and I love that now because social media, they've all got ways of listening to this, and it's kind of reinventing yourself. It's like
that's the truth, man. Social media's changed everything.
Kiss has reinvented themselves, and there's new people at Kiss shows that have never seen Kiss before.
Right.
Yeah, so
And we have a lot of that too, especially when we get into playing the bike events and such. Like the Lone Star. Here, there's a rally called the Lone Star that we haven't played yet. But
I'm going to hear that.
But other than that,
I'm going to get that.
No, but it is
what do you
cool.
say we get Jackyl to the Lone Star rally?
Let's start a
that's
petition.
Or just start a whole new rally.
I'm like, Jesse,
have Jackyl be the
free.
headliner
It's
of.
free to the fans, but I got to get him there. But I mean,
those are my favorite kind of
sport.
shows.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Free.
It's solid.
Free. That's what about free.
I mean, the crowd is special. I mean, it is a great crowd.
The last
It's
time I was
veterans,
down-
lots of veterans, and you guys.
I don't. Do you remember? Were you down there? Did we get a chance to hang whenever we did the biker build off one year that ended up there was Eddie Trotta and Kendall Johnson.
Yeah.
And I rode with those guys we filmed one of the biker build off shows, and we rode across the state of Texas. And I think we started like in Lubbock or something, and we ended up at the Lone Star Rally down there. It's been several years ago, but you remember that?
We haven't missed one yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't remember if we
it's
hung
the most fun
I
you
would
can
have
have.
known if Jesse James Dupree rolled into Galveston. I might have known that.
That's the last time I was down there, though.
Most fun you can have with your clothes on.
No. You're welcome to come. I'd love to have Jackyl out.
Jesse James Dupree, Jackyl tonight, the concert pub. The website is
Jackyl.com.
Jackyl.com.
The Facebook, the Jackyl official Facebook page is always up and kicking. We try to, we've been training ourselves to do better at letting people know what's going on through the Facebook. And
Surround yourself with 20-year-olds.
Yeah, there you go.
They'll keep you. And your son, speaking of being surrounded by 20, your son now is
Beautiful little
performing.
bastard. Yeah, you know what it's like. Get them good looking. Thank God they look like their mama, right? Yeah.
Well, now has your son Colby Gray performed out of the Full Throttle Saloon?
Yeah, he sure has. Colby
but
has,
for
yeah.
Travis Tritt and Tanya Tucker, that was kind of an adventure. That was awesome.
All right, it is so good
time.
to see you. What time do you go on stage?
Around 10 o'clock. So come on out.
Will you let me bring you on stage?
Come on.
For old
absolutely.
time's sake?
I insist.
There you go.
That's
All
it.
right.
Rock me, roll me, jackal me off, Outlaw Dave, kicking out some righteous party radio time tonight. So come on down here to the concert. I like to refer to it as the new Jackal's Bar and Grill. So
There
come on
you
down.
go. The new Jackal's Bar and Grill. We got the moonshine. We got the whiskey. We got everything you need and a good time that'll bite you in the ass. We don't have anything from Dixon Farms, but the show tonight is sponsored by Dixon Farms.
It's harvest time here at